Life begins at $400,000 a year. But before I get to that, make sure y'all check out YouTube to Cash. It's $100 until New Year's. So Sunday night, when the clock strikes 12:01, the sale is over. But anyway, $400,000 is where life begins. If you break it down, it's around $7,500 to $8,000 per week to get to $400,000 a year. Now, before we get there, right, let me just break down this whole mindset thing when it comes to $400,000 a year, because the average person will just straight disregard the possibility of being able to do so. So there's this kid, right, in this building right now. His mom works here. She cleans the building. They're from South America somewhere. And I notice every time when he doesn't have school, she makes him work. He's probably like 11, 12 years old. I saw last summer, the entire summer, she had him in here doing her job, cleaning the windows, vacuuming the floors, just whatever she does, she's sitting back chilling, making him work. He's around 11 or 12 years old. That's a good thing, because what's going to happen is, right, people think that when it comes to like $400,000 a year or $1 million a year, that it's luck. It's not, okay? It's work ethic. And what she's doing is she's instilling in him that work ethic at an early age. And you can tell that it's working and that he's used to it, because the average kid, right, they're going to look at, or, especially kids these days, they like to play video games all day and stuff. If you have them doing work, they're going to have an attitude. But this kid looks happy. He's down there mopping the floor, vacuuming, because he's used to it. So when you take somebody that is doing this type of work for nothing, imagine what will happen if you really incentivize them to work and make money, right? He could literally be at home right now playing video games, playing Fortnite and all this other stuff. But his mom is like, nah, now where we from, you gotta learn to work now, so that when you become my age, it's easier for you to do, okay? Now, myself, right, I started working when I was 11 or 12 years old. I worked at an ice cream shop. I worked at a park. I worked, I even worked at Subway. I worked at AutoZone when I was younger. And that's the reason why my work ethic is so heavy now, because I was working for next to nothing as a kid, growing up. And since I had that work ethic in me at an early age, it now has translated to where now I can work hard in other endeavors, right? So when it comes to $400,000 a year, right, most people think it's not attainable. 400,000 and higher is because that type of money then becomes skill-based, right? So let's just talk about a few skills. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, mechanics. These type of people can touch $400,000 a year a lot easier than the average person that doesn't have any of these skills, okay? Here's why. These businesses are scalable. Being an electrician, being a plumber, you can get 1 or 2 state or government contracts and make a $500,000, 400,000, $250,000 just off of one, right? We aren't even talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, and we aren't even talking about private industry too, right? Like I said, I got a lot of friends that have trades, right? Or skill sets, trades, whatever you want to call them, and they are touching these numbers very easily, a lot easier. One contract, they can get $400,000 or $500,000. So once you add 2, 3, 4, 5 within a year, you're there that easy, right? Now, another skill set, right, is sales. So like real estate. As a real estate agent, you can make $400,000 easily. So let's break it down. Remember I said $400,000 a year is $7,500 to $8,000 a week. Okay, if the average American home is between $350,000 and $400,000, okay, that's like a $7,500 to an $8,000 check. That means you need to do 4 deals a month, or you can sell $1 million house a month. Okay, so that's how you have to think about these things and break it down. Now, here's why I say $400,000 is where life begins, because with that type of money, you have a lot more options. You can invest better with $400,000 a year. Okay. When it comes to Bitcoin, stocks, real estate, you have a lot more, you have a bigger cash cash on hand to be able to roll into investments. You know, the average person is putting a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000 in the stock market, you know, every month. Once you add the employee matching, well, if you're making $7,500 to $8,000 a week, I mean, you could throw 10 grand at the S&P 500. You could throw 10 grand every month at Bitcoin, because you can afford to do that, right? That's just that. Let's talk about cars, right? Any cars that you want to buy, $400,000 a year, you could pretty much get Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens easily, Cullinans, Rolls Royce easily, right? Let's talk about real estate. $400,000 a year, you can get a multi-million-dollar house, okay? $400,000 a year, you can fly private. Now, I know people think that private jets cost a lot of money. No, they don't. You can fly private for around the cost of a first-class ticket. That's another thing. Your lifestyle completely changes, right? First class tickets aren't that expensive to me because I'm in that range, but it's about being comfortable. $400,000 a year, you're on first class flights. $400,000 a year, you know, you are able to go to luxury resorts. You're able to do luxury things, buy luxury stuff, right? That's the reason why I said life begins at $400,000, is because you can do a lot of things that the average American will never and cannot do. But I want to say that it is very attainable, right? It all starts in your mind. I know this sounds cliche, but it's true. $400,000, you know, let's just talk like content creation. $400,000 in the realm of content creation, you are poor, okay? In a lot of these industries, $400,000, you're poor. In the real estate industry, $400,000 a year, you're poor. People make way more money than that as real estate agents on the commercial and the residential side. And top agents will tell you that. Some of these guys will tell you that they can't even live off $400,000 a year, right? Because they got got the Lamborghini yours, they got the Aventador, they got a $2-3 million home, you know, they got a vacation home. That $400,000 a year won't even be able to fund a lot of this stuff, right? Depending on how their lifestyle is, especially out there in Hollywood and LA, and some places down in Miami, right, with their property taxes. So these things are possible. $400,000 a year is very possible. I believe you can do it. It's something that I've exceeded a long time ago. It's not hard to do, okay? All you have to do is bring something to the marketplace. Like I said, you can go to some technical school and become an electrician and touch 400. It's not really that hard. There's a lot of opportunity out here. For example, the Build Back Better plan. Who's benefiting off of that? Contractors, okay? It's not that hard to do. Like I said, I believe in you. Get to the money, less excuses. And that's just real.